Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormy B-Man, and I am back. This is the Friday night chop session with Stormy B-Man special end of the year award show part 2. Number 211 in the series of chop sessions. This special live stream is for the ladies. You see, just a couple days ago, I did the part 1 of the year's end show dedicated for the men, the award show. So I did not forget and I didn't omit. I wanted to give myself a chance to look into things a little deeper. And I think that I have come up with something very respectful for how I saw the women's division of boxing this year, 2025. I want to say welcome to anybody that's out there catching this live. This is not usually when I would go live, but however, as I said to you many times, I said I was going to be trying to make changes where not only could I broadcast from multi-stream aspect and levels of places to present my content, but to present it to you in ways that'll be different, so there would be variety and an assortment. Because I could have easily just waited to this coming Friday for this particular show. But why not give the ladies the equal billing of having me discuss in detail what I've found through their experiences of 2025. And once again, it allows me to stand alone in what I do because my creative process speaks volumes about how I want to be represented and how I want to give detail and attention and acknowledgement from the perspective of what I bring when I create content for the Stormy B-Man brand. So welcome, everyone. Welcome. Many of you may not even know some of the people that will be discussed during this live, and that's okay. But it'll give you a chance to go back and review, because that way you can bring yourself abreast on what you may have missed out. And therefore you can look at things in a manner that you attack it aggressively going forward for the oncoming year of 2026. Because I'm going to tell you something, and you'll hear me reiterate this point time and again. The women of boxing have come forward by leaps and bounds, graduating to a level of entertainment that they are getting not only the matches made, but they are getting to the heart and essence of what boxing is all about from the women's perspective. Man, there have been some great fights this year alone. And I've got one going on my monitor in the backdrop right now, revisiting, because I've been enamored with the presentation. And salute to the promotional companies, MVP, DAZN, Matchroom, Salida Promotions. They have been putting these women out there. Triller. We've been seeing some great stuff. ProBox TV. And I anxiously await what's in store for the oncoming year. So welcome, welcome. Smash that like button as you come into the building. And if you decide to take on off, smash it on your way out. But we're going to take our time with this and go through with this awards show because they are worth it. And I'll tell you, there are not many people who will take the time out, as I have done, to put things together and be able to present it the way that I do. So just know the efforts of Stormy B Man, his brand and channel, what he does here, is for my true supporters and also the lovers of the sport. Yeah, that's what it's all about. As we get to it. Yeah. So, we got my brother Joe Gagliardi out there saying salute. Convos with Cam is in the building. Salute to you, Cam. How you doing? Appreciate you stopping in. If you like the ladies, Cam, this is the show for you, because I'll tell you, I did take my time. I went through my list. I went through names. And again, as I said about part one, the show, my list and awards that I hand out doesn't mean that everyone has to be in agreement with me. It's just that how I took in the sport and gave consideration for the participants. It's important sometimes to just have your own perspective. I'm willing to share it because I create content on these airwaves, but that doesn't mean everybody has to align with what I'm doing. So just know that. Just know that. And I'm excited because I started doing this I think this is my third year doing my awards show. And each year I added a little something to the presentation. And this year I thought to make it not necessarily a part of the Friday night chop session show. I said I'll do it individually from the show. It's still born of my show, the Friday night chop session. But it's a segment that in its inception, it took up maybe 45 minutes to an hour of that show. So I said, man, I'll just do this independently and I'll have maybe 2 hours worth of content to do exclusive outside of the Friday night chop session. See, I'm just basically explaining myself here to the listeners that's out there. You know what I'm saying? So, Ravens Nation, what's good with you? I see you. Smash the like button as you come in. So, when I do these shows, you guys will see my trophy there, the Stormy B Man Awards trophy. I picked that image out because I thought it was pretty cool, and it's subtle, you know. It's subtle. Not too, you know. But it's what I do. I'm sorry. It's like my creative process, you know, is who I am. So as we get down into things, let's start off with an award that I looked at as Round of the Year. Now, this one in particular is something that some of you may not, again, you don't necessarily have to agree. But given what I witnessed when I watched this particular event, I'm like, these women are down to business, man. And it started off and kicked off the undercard that was the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua event on Friday, December 19th on Netflix. We had a chance to see Sharnika Johnson defend her bantamweight title against Amanda Ghali Now, Gali entered this fight coming from mixed martial arts background plus boxing background, and she's out of Canada. She said that she knew that she would have to fight Johnson in a certain regard, being that Shernika has shown levels in her output. So these two women met on that evening of the 19th for Shernika's title. The IBF, WBC, WBO, and I do believe she had the WBA. So Shernika may be undisputed or maybe one title away from undisputed. But she's fighting out of Australia, Johnson. And this fight opened the very first round of their scheduled 10-round bout with both women going at it. By the end of the first round, there was a head clash that caused a bad cut over Gali's. I think it was her left side of her face. By the second round, Shernika was bleeding from the same side. It was kind of crazy. These two ladies were clashing like rams. But Shernika took the fight to her early on because she knew that Gali was going to come in and try to attack strategically. And Gali had to fight back, and it gave her a chance to show her wares. Now, these two women, they were going at it, and I'm talking about the first round. The first round, they set the pace and the tone for what kind of fight it was going to be. And there was blood throughout the rest of the fight because it did go the distance, with Shernika coming out on top, winning a decision. However, Gali was trying. Her efforts were gallant. She was putting in the work. She was trying her best, but Shernika was ready for her, man. It's like there's something about that lady fighting out of the outback, Australia, man. She's tough. And she got that, that nice girl look, but she's not a nice girl fighter. She will get in there and get in your grill and try to take your head off. Shernika Johnson will. And she has a very high combative spirit, where she wants to challenge the opponent. I want to see what you got. I want to see if you really want it as bad as I do. I want to see if you can hang. And I love that. Supernique is her ring name. And she is really a fighter, a warrior. This fight was very entertaining. As I stated, it did go the distance, but it was the type of fight that saw her get out front, take that lead, and she never relinquished it. The judges' final scorecards were 98-92, 99-91, and 97-93. And though it was unanimous, Johnson was out front from the beginning, the onset, and Gali, has nothing to hang her head for, because she came out, she was just a little bit behind this younger, stronger champion. Gali's 36 years of age. Shernika is 30, and she is primed and ready to defend going forward in 2026. This was for the bantamweight titles, and I'm certain that there will be some more challenges ahead for her But that's my opening award for these two ladies and the efforts that they put on. Sharnika Johnson, unanimous decision over Amanda Ghali. What a way to open up their fight. And as a prelim bout on the undercard of Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, great opportunity to see them do their thing there. So the next award I would like to speak on would be my event of 2025. This is not a hard one to figure out, because when you think about it, and we're talking about for the ladies, we're not talking about overall boxing event. We're talking about the ladies of boxing. And there was not a greater, bigger event for the women in boxing than the fight that took place that I'm going to talk about here. It's so interesting that the combatants found themselves once again in Madison Square Garden in July. And it took place on a Netflix card, and they were able to head this up. We're talking Friday, July 11th, from Madison Square Garden, a Netflix battle that saw Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano 3. The trilogy match between the two women. And it was an opportunity for them to settle the score once and for all. And though the fight ended up with a lackluster finish due to Amanda Serrano, I don't know, she didn't have the fervor that she brought in the first two fights. And it could be due to a number of things. Serrano had run into some issues outside of the ring with circumstances that caused her to put off and delay fights, cancel other matches, and things of that nature. And I do believe, headed into this, initially she may have wanted to bring something different to Katie. But Katie was really prepared for everything in this fight. And she outpointed Amanda, and Amanda didn't get in and mix it up as she had done earlier in the two prior matches. Their previous fight, the second fight, took place when did that fight take place? I want to say April of 2022. And there was a split decision that Amanda dropped in that second fight, almost stopping Katie in the first round with a tremendous shot that had Katie on Queer Street, but she was able to recover due to great conditioning. Though it was a split decision, I saw the fight in favor of Amanda, but she just couldn't get that decision. So this third fight, I was pulling for Amanda to either try to put Katie down or something. But there is another aspect, thinking upon reflection. These fights were fought at super lightweight for Katie's undisputed titles. And Amanda had battled at featherweight. So to be perfectly honest with you, she's not a super lightweight. She's not. No matter how hard she tried and gave the effort she did, she just couldn't do enough to put Katie in the type of jeopardy that would give her the best benefit to win. And Katie was able to use a lot of moxie. There was tactical circumstances that she was able to open up as this went down, and Amanda was not able to make the adjustments. And that was something that was the difference between victory and defeat. But it was still very entertaining for anyone who was able to catch these matches. A very entertaining match. Those will probably go into the record book for Katie as 3 of the best wins in her careers. The first 2 could have been gift decisions, but that third fight, I mean, a lot of people was asking, like, what's wrong with Amanda? Why isn't she attacking? Why isn't she going for it, you know? And it was just something that she wasn't doing. It was noticeable, especially after watching the first 2 fights. But again, as I will state, you had to give credit to Amanda for even moving up to take this match. She gave everything she could. She really did. But Amanda's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And as her name, The Real Deal, that's exactly who and what she is for the sport of boxing, representing. Amanda Serrano is the real deal. So salute to those 2 ladies for giving us a tremendous match where they were just, I mean, they were amazing, both. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was, you know, what I had to say about that. You don't often get that type of effort in 3 fights. And we did with those women. So try not to be too hard on them. You know what I mean? Try not to be too hard on them, because they gave their best. Both of them did. So the next award I would like to move forward to would be Comeback of the Year. Now, this one wasn't hard to figure out at all if you watch boxing, because this one is for the record books, and it is something that I was so proud to see. I did a special segment on one of my lives talking about this effort by this fighter. Let me acknowledge some people who have come into the building. We got Greg McCall, G McCall in the building. EJ is out there. Bud Jablonski is out there. Tay Tay, the real queen of MMA. What's going on? Everyone. And there was someone else. I think I got everybody. Yeah. But thank you all for coming in. Please smash the like button as you come in. Share the content also. Tay Tay, because of your channel, please share this show to your channel, because this is a dedicated show for the women of 2025 awards show, 2025 Fighter of the Year, Awards of the Year for it. So please share it to your channel, because people watch, you know, this content, you know, especially with you doing MMA coverage and everything. So please do that. Salute to Coach Hudson in the building. I see you out there. Great live that you did a little earlier, brother. You were cooking, man. I love how you broke down about the hand wraps and the effects of the chemicals in there that can lead those wraps to becoming cast-like. I love that. I knew each and everything of what you were talking about, but the way you broke it down and mentioned the chemicals that I used in the articles and all of that, that was great stuff. 1,000 on that, brother. We appreciate your efforts and what you do. So, this award, Comeback of the Year, goes to none other. Somebody might even be aware of who I'm going to say, but then I may surprise you guys. And it's okay if you happen to be surprised. But this Comeback of the Year award goes to Cecilia Brækhus. Man, this woman, what she did is the equivalent of what Bud Crawford did, all the way down to retiring after. This was amazing. Cecilia came back and she fought Emma Kozin for the titles that Emma had. And this was also going in being announced as Cecilia's last fight. So, on October 4th, Saturday, from Norway, where she lives, Brækhus took on Emma Kozin for the WBC and WBO titles. And she won a unanimous 10-round decision over Emma. And Emma is no slouch, you guys. She only has 2 losses on her record, to Cecilia and to Clarissa Shields. So, I'm sorry, 2 losses to Cecilia and to Clarissa Shields. So this is great stuff, huh? Great stuff. But Cecilia came in 44 years of age, you guys, taking on Kozin, who is 26. And she won this fight. The judges' scorecards were 98-92, 96-94, 97-93. This was a hard-fought battle for Cecilia, being the age that she is. I mean, think about this now. I'm talking about Amanda needs to retire at 37. This woman was 44 years old, you guys. Near the age of a nana, huh? And she comes in there and she takes it to Emma Kozin and defeats her. Instant Hall of Fame there, and retired immediately after the bout. My hat is off to Brækhus. She's been boxing ever since January of 2007, when she turned pro. Talk about longevity. Talk about quality. Some people will remember her for her battles against Ivana Hadbazine. Some people will remember her for her battles against Jennifer Retzky. Or how about Jessica McCaskill, where she first lost her title. And she tried to run it back with McCaskill in an immediate rematch. But she just couldn't, she couldn't defeat McCaskill at that time. McCaskill was a beast. But Cecilia enjoyed being an undisputed champion, you guys, until she lost to Jessica McCaskill. There was a fight that she had took against Kylie Reyes, where she got dropped in the 7th round. But this woman has come along and shown the way to get it done. Just amazing. She is a fighter who should always be looked at as class, even though, some people are not familiar with her because of where she's from and everything. Just an amazing fighter. She finishes with a record of 39-2 with 1 draw, 9 KOs, was never stopped. And that 1 draw was against Terry Harper, which was in October of 2023. And that was in Sheffield. It was a majority decision draw, which means that she could have gotten the green light on that, but they were in Sheffield, which is Harper's hometown. You know what I'm saying? So, but look at Cecilia Brækhus' record, man. Look at what she has done in the sport of boxing. And there is nothing to do but salute. What a talent. What a talent. We have some more people that came into the building. Lone Star Steph is out there. Columbia is in the building. What's happening? Mr. Shelton is out there with his shoes off. And who else we got? The rest of you guys are saluting one another. I appreciate you guys coming in, but I appreciate it even more if you could smash my like button and share the content, because I'm one of the few that's doing this, giving these athletes their just due at a time when so many other people are just talking about a whole bunch of foolishness. That's not my MO. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, my next award is one that this one just took place recently, you guys. And if you didn't see it, let me tell you something. This is why you should watch boxing. There's an entertainment value for the sport of boxing. This fight took place this month, Saturday, December 6th, a DAZN broadcast from Monte Carlo. Matchroom has put on some pretty interesting fights in Monte Carlo. We've seen some upsets over there. We saw Joe Cordina get upset by Anthony Cacace over there a little over 2 years ago now. It's been, I think, for that. And so here we have another woman who was a champion, went over there to Monte Carlo and was totally taken apart. The champion in this fight, Beatrice Fiera, taking on Elif Turham for the IBF lightweight title. Now, Beatrice from Brazil is a quality fighter. A quality fighter. Oh, I'm sorry. I said upset of the year. This was KO of the year, you guys. KO. I said upset, but that's not the upset of the year. The KO of the year. Elif Turham from Turkey took on Beatrice, and she stopped Beatrice in 4 rounds. The woman looked like Hercules in there. She was winging her punches like a young Mike Tyson with reckless abandon and total bad intentions. She caught Fiera trying to be elusive and get out of the way of shots and still nailed her and pounded her to the canvas. And Beatrice was hurt. She was wobbled. This was not something to be taken lightly here. And that was in round 1. She got up. She was able to survive the round. And in the second round, she was boxing a little bit better, but you could still see that she was uncertain of how to handle this situation. What she was supposed to do is kind of just stay away from Turnham until she got beyond 4 rounds, because that intensity, that she wasn't going to be able to sustain that for full 10 rounds. But let me tell you something. Before the end of the 4th round, she caught Beatrice in the triangle, people. And what have I told you all about fighters being trapped in the triangle? She beat the crap out of that girl while she had her in that vulnerable position and stopped her. Oh my goodness. I felt for Beatrice because Beatrice is a good fighter. They entered this bout. Let me go back to, I want to talk about their records. Beatrice's record is now, in the aftermath, 8-1 with 2 KOs, no draws. But she has been the IBF lightweight title holder since April of 2024. And she has had 5 fights since winning that title. So she was basically a born champion in women's division of boxing. But my goodness, in this particular bout, she just could not handle the power and strength early of Turnham. Turnham entered this fight. Many people should look at it and be like, is that girl on something? Because she was strong as an ox. And now her record after this victory is 11-0. She's 11-0. Eight KOs out of Istanbul. She looked like a man in there, really, against Beatrice. And it was tough. It was tough to watch. And it because it was so fresh in my mind, I was like, that's got to be the knockout of the year. Because Turnham knocked out a world champion, and I call her a champion because Beatrice had defended the title several times. But this girl came like out of the Caucasus Mountains, man. Just a destructive force of nature. That's exactly what she was. Amazing. So that is my knockout of the year for women division of boxing. Now, in my award for the upset of the year, I'm sorry, I meant to talk about that before I got to the knockout of the year, but I just changed places on them, that's all. But hey, the upset of the year was a fight that many people didn't see this coming, but I had said, oh my goodness, when I watched these ladies at the press conference and all the talking that the challenger was doing, I'm like, you know what? I think something's going to happen here. And it did. We're talking about going back to September 2025. And this was an opportunity. Hold on. I gotta go back. Nope, that's the wrong date. That's not September of 2025. March of 2025, when this upset happened. This was on the undercard of George Kambosos Jr. taking on Jake Wiley. This was in Australia, you guys. That's where Kambosos was trying to get his win, get back into winning graces. The combatants in question here are Sky Nicholson, who was the titleist, taking on Tierra Brown. Tierra Brown challenged Sky and had talked to her about how she was going to make Sky fight a different type of fight, because Sky was controlling everybody that she faced with her ability to box, stay safe and out of range for the opponents, and be able to score points and win. And because it was in Australia, Sky Nicholson's home country and everything, this was a huge, steep hill for Tierra Brown to climb. And she won this fight handily. They gave her a split decision. However, the judges' scorecards read 96 to 94, 94 to 96, and 97 to 93, all in favor for Tierra Brown, which was very surprising because Sky Nicholson fighting at home. You would think that if they were going to show a little favoritism or something, that it would have been for Sky. But Tierra came out of there with the victory, you guys. A great win for her. She beat Sky at her own game and imposed herself on Sky at the same time, to the degree that Sky moved down in weight after this, because this battle was for the WBC featherweight title that Sky had. And you know that Sky was calling out Amanda Serrano, right? She was like talking big stuff. Tierra Brown said, sister, you got to see me. Oh my goodness. What a fight. And Tierra has since defended the title once, and that's the September fight that I was trying to mention. But on this night, that was also a night that Shernika Johnson had fought and defended her title in Australia. But there was something really special in the air on that night for Tierra to win that fight under those auspices, because it doesn't happen a lot. But you have to salute someone being able to be fierce. And she was in Sky's face the entire time. I truly believe at the end of the day, she took Sky's heart in the promotion of the fight, because she was very aggressive, but not to the point where it was a threat to hit her or anything. But she stayed in Sky's face. She stayed in. She was letting her know, looking her in her face, looking her in the eye, telling her, I'm coming for your title. You're gonna fight a fight that you ain't never fought before. You're gonna fight my fight, and I'm taking your belts. And Sky was like, yeah, whatever, you're running your mouth, you know, trying to be all nonchalant about it. Tierra took it, man. And I was so happy for her. I was very happy for her being successful in what she did. This was the type of victory that it was like you had to see it. You know what I mean? You had to see it. And I did a special video on her. I did. You know, again, I cover the women just like I cover the guys. And, you know, I'm sad to say you guys, you don't be there. You don't be there. So me being able to reflect on these moments is very sentimental for me because I went through the process. I went through it. So Fort Myers is on the map because of Tierra Brown. And that sister, she's 37 years of age, nicknamed the Dark Menace. And boy, is she. She's got that WBC featherweight title. And I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. She may be inactive because people don't want to get in the ring with her. She's 5'7". She's strong. She's aggressive. 20-0 with 11 KOs. And a pretty damn good fighter. Yeah. So, hey, man. But I talk about these things. You know, it's like when I say it, some people may not be with it. They may not believe it. You know? But I just try to cover the sport of boxing, man. I try to cover it. Now, my next award is for Fighter of the Year. Now, this is a fighter that you guys may not know about. And I am still looking into her career and watching her because she's at a small weight. But she's doing big things. And I'm talking about super flyweight titleist Mizuki Hiruta. Mizuki is a fighter. The reason that she made my Fighter of the Year award is the titles that she holds. WBO super flyweight title. She has successfully defended it 4 times this year. Beginning in January, she defended this title. And she has been stellar. Pretty much unanimous decisions, outboxing the opposition. But she's been active. Her title reign goes back to December of 2022. This young lady's getting it done, people. Now, yes, she's Japanese and she's over there, but she's a fighter, man. She gets in that ring and she defends those titles. Okayama, Japan is where she's from. She's 5'4" and a southpaw with a 66.5-inch reach. Her nickname is Mimi. (10-0) with 2 KOs. Yeah. It's good stuff, man. DLP in the building. The Messenger 215. What's happening? Yeah. See, I told you, I will give credit. You show me an American fighter or a fighter from the West that's defended their world title 4 times in a year and come out looking great in each and every bout, and I'll thumb you up on that. You're not going to see that a lot. You're not. But see, I'm taking the time out to talk about these ladies. Where's the rest of the people? Huh? Where? That's what I said. Now, I have another award, Trainer of the Year. Now, this one, it would be easy to say Papa Fondura for what he has done, the amazing job he's done with Gabriella and Sebastian. But that's being close to home, and meaning the U.S., of course, and that's just paying attention to, what's familiar. But I'm going to go out on a limb with this one and say Ross Aname, he's the trainer for Katie Taylor. Now, you might say, well, damn, Stormy, that's it. Listen, this man has done some amazing work with Katie. And the reason that I picked this gentleman, as I looked over Katie's accomplishments in her most recent bouts, she's had 4 fights since May of 2023. And the battles have been Chantel Cameron. She lost the first fight in Dublin, Ireland. A majority decision. She lost to Chantel. They ran it back in Ireland again, and she won a majority decision. Cameron wants a third match with Katie, but Katie may not give it to her. And these were all for the undisputed super lightweight titles here. And her trilogy finished with the second and third fight with Amanda Serrano. Over that period of time, she's only suffered that one loss to Chantel, even though I thought that she lost the second fight to Chantel as well. The headbutting and everything. And she could have easily dropped that second fight decision to Serrano. But this coach and trainer has managed to keep Katie focused, in condition, and helped her pull out victories in very close fights. That cannot be overlooked. When a fighter is winning close fights consistently, it's not just the fighter's abilities, but sometimes it has a lot to do with the instructions and directions and the game planning that takes place from the corner. So I decided to consider Ross in this situation, also because he's kept her winning in top elite level matches. It's very hard to do, people. It's very hard to do. Very hard to do. Salute to Freedom's March. I see you out there. What's happening with you? Yeah. Some of you may be like, well, whatever. You know, you probably think Stormy B, man, you know, my decisions and everything. You may think, but hey, I watch the sport and I watch the people and personnel of the sport. I see a lot of stuff going on, you know, a lot. Now, my final award goes to a pair of middleweights in the fight of the year. These two women have battled twice now because their first meeting in September is the fight in question of Fight of the Year. I'm talking about Chicago's, by way of Iowa, Representative Olivia Curry and Kay Scott from Australia. If you go back to their September bout, it was on DAZN, a Salida promotion. These two women fought like dudes, man. Big middleweight women. And they fought for a vacant title. It was the WBC middleweight title. It was vacant. And they fought to a majority draw, which is what gave them their rematch this month on the 20th. And Kay Scott won the rematch, so they might have a trilogy fight going on. But the two women, they battled toe-to-toe, give and take, slip, counter. It was like you could have put a cutout piece of cardboard in the center of the ring and tell them to put their lead foot toe on it and fight from that position. And that's basically the fight that you got out of these two women. They fought, man. They fought. And it was very competitive. And I enjoy fights like this. Scott came away with the victory. Of judges' scorecards, forgive me, I'm looking at the wrong information. Scott came away with the victory in the rematch. The first fight had them in September. Judges' scorecards were 95-95, two judges, and 98-92 for Kay Scott. Now, Kay Scott won the rematch, but don't be surprised if these ladies in sometime in 2026 find themselves facing off once again. This was a damn good fight, you guys. 5'9" versus 5'10", 68.5 inch against a 70-inch reach, and they were going at it. Middleweights. Now, Scott from Australia is 41. Curry from Iowa, from Chicago by way of Iowa, is 35. I wouldn't mind seeing them again. I wouldn't mind. This is pretty good stuff here. Great stuff. And If you were in attendance when they fought in Detroit for the rematch, you would have really enjoyed yourself. But if you were in attendance when they fought in September in Detroit, you would have come away with that saying, man, those two women really battled. Can't wait to see them again. Great stuff. I believe that Curry is managed by Felix Trinidad's dad, I think. But this is great stuff. You guys need to pay attention to the sport, man. There's great stuff happening. Yup. But yeah, that's what I was able to come up with, man, for my awards. Some people may not have even known a single person that I spoke about on here. But guess what? You do well to go and check it out for yourself, to go research for yourself and learn about these fighters. Huh? Learn. That's what needs to take place. A learning process, man. So when I tell you guys, and you hear me say it multiple times over, I really truly love the sport of boxing. I love it, man. I can watch two brand new, what do you call them? Prospects. I just don't like to see people who are past due, people who should be on their way out. I just don't like to see that. And by the way, I opened the show showing my present pound for pound list of the women, the ratings. That's something that I do as well. The Thunderous Top 10 for men and women. So I'm on it, man. I'm on it. I'm on it. So with that being said, I'm going to get ready to get on up out of here. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC. If you came in late, please, go ahead and smash the like button, share the content, let others know what's happening, huh? We'll be back later this evening for the Nerds on Culture year-end show for that. And I thank everybody that tuned in. I appreciate you all. That's it for now. Thank you so much. I'm out.